Welcome back to the channel on this beautifully less hot and less humid summer day. Hey, I've got something a little bit different for you today. As you can see over my right shoulder, I've got the Champion 4500 watt dual fuel generator. It runs on gasoline or propane. And today, I'm not going to go through a thorough evaluation of the generator, but we're going to unbox it, we're going to set it up, test it out, and I'm going to give you my overall opinion about it. So stick around.
Welcome to my cluttered garage. You know I'm really glad you're here. Yeah.
So right out of the gate, the first thing I'm going to tell you is this thing is heavy. It weighs in at about 100 pounds. So it's portable, but it's not necessarily easily portable. I'm going to open it up from underneath and see if we can just slide the box off rather than try and lift it out of the box. So here's what you'll find inside the box. The instruction manual, of course, a quick start guide. Mine had a little coupon for a free t-shirt if you leave a review. There's the hose to connect to the propane tank, a funnel, along with the ½ liter of 4-cycle oil. There's a spark plug wrench, which seems kind of odd, and a tool for tightening up the spark plug. A USB adapter, a little open-end wrench, 8mm and 10mm, and a Phillips head screwdriver. Let me answer the question as to even why I bought this generator. I have a 12,000 watt generator that I use to power my house in the event of a power failure. But I bought this dual fuel generator, portable generator, specifically to use with the camper. And being 4,500 watts, I think it's 3,500 running watts, 4,500 starting watts. It is to obviously run the air conditioner on the camper, the microwave, anything else I might need. So I bought this specifically for camping. And I went with the dual fuel because I like the idea of not hauling around raw gas. If we take a long trip, I really don't want to have a container of gasoline sloshing around in the back of the truck. So I'm thinking that if I throw a couple of bottles of propane in the back, it'll transport easily. Propane doesn't go bad. It just seems a lot more secure to me. So that's why I bought this model. I like the idea of running it on propane. Of course, for camping, portability is a big issue, and I'm already a little bit concerned at the 100-pound weight of this thing. But I don't think you can get a 4,500 watt or 3,500 watt generator that weighs much less than 100 pounds. So I'm going to have to just deal with it, and I'm sure that that won't be a problem. What's most important is to have an inverter generator, which produces clean electricity. They also run much quieter, and you want an enclosed generator because the open frame generators obviously make a lot more noise. The enclosed generators are somewhat insulated from the sound, so that is important too. So it's going to be fine, but let me tell you, this thing is heavy. I can't stress enough how heavy it is. Let's look at the front panel here. There is the IntelliGauge, which obviously is going to give you information that I'm not sure just yet. We'll see what comes up on that gauge when we hook the battery up and run the generator. Obviously, it's probably going to show you the amount of power being used. It looks like there's a little bar here from 0 to 100%, so you'll see what your usage is. If you're getting close to overburdening the generator, you'll see it on there. So that's kind of handy. And then there's a little display here that'll show us some different things. And there are some buttons here too, so we'll see what those do. Here's the control to run the engine. There's the stop mode, the run mode, and choke. And the way you start it is with this button here. Once the battery's hooked up, that will engage the electric start, run it on choke, back to run, and there it is. There's an 8 amp circuit breaker here for, looks like that's specifically for the 12 volt outlet. And then you have a 20 amp circuit breaker for the standard 120 volt outlet, and then a 30 amp circuit breaker. And this is RV ready, which is nice. RVs have this 30 amp plug, unless you have a 50 amp RV. But since this is not a 220 volt generator, only 120 volt, you only need the 30 amp. So that'll plug in directly. And then you have these leads down here for combining generators. You could hook two of these generators together and you would get, I guess, 9,000 starting watts. I don't know how that works exactly, but you can run two generators in tandem and get a lot more power out of them. Something I am quite sure I'll never use, but probably a nice feature to have for those who need it. Also at the front of the generator, you have this flip-up handle, and that gives you a lot more leverage for moving this generator around, and it's going to be really handy. It's got an aluminum handle, not just plastic, so it seems like it's really well made, and I like how it flips right back into place. Underneath, there are, underneath, there are 4 very nice rubber feet, and these are shock absorbing feet. I guess if you ran this on a concrete slab, the feet would help absorb any vibration or noise. Running it on the dirt, I'm not sure how much that'll matter. You also have pretty much zero ground clearance with these wheels, but the idea is that when the generator is sitting flat, it's not sitting on the wheels, it's actually sitting on those rubber feet. And when you tilt the generator back, it cantilevers on those wheels, and that's how you can move it around. There are a few steps involved with getting this thing ready for the first fire up, and you want to do them in this specific sequence. First of all, there are some nuts on the bottom that are anti-vibration nuts for shipping. You have to remove those. You want to do that first because you're going to tilt this thing on its side for that. Then you're going to hook up the battery for the electric starter, and then you're going to add the oil to the crankcase, and then finally your fuel of choice, either gasoline or propane. So let's remove that shipping hardware first. We'll flip it up on its back side like that. You can see here these orange plates. All 4 of those nuts have to come off along with the orange plates. And then you just dispose of all this hardware, unless you're like me and you save everything because you'll never need it. Hey, is that Kubota orange? The battery connection is under this side. So that's what the Phillips screwdriver is for that came in the package. You want to take these 2 top screws out. Don't know if they come out completely. Yes, they do, so be careful. Take out those 2 top screws. And then the panel pulls out a little bit and lifts right off. Here's the air filter for future reference. A little foam filter in there, probably has a paper filter behind it. And then the battery connections are coiled up right here. Very easy, you just take the 2 end caps off and then you connect the 2 wires together. If you can see that, there's a lot of, actually I'm going to uncoil that a little bit. Connect the 2 sides together like that. And we're done. Just tuck things back into place neatly so they don't rub up against anything. And put the cover back on. Now we'll spin it back around to add the oil. And that is behind this little door right here. Of course, there's a little tag warning you that there is no oil in the unit. We'll cut that off. And then there is an oil fill cap back here, easily accessible. I like that they added this drain hose for changing the oil. And you just simply remove the cap. Well, there's a couple drops in there. And that is going to be really nice for changing the oil. So, The directions say to add up to 16.9 fluid ounces of oil. It includes 0.5 liters. I don't know how many fluid ounces that is. Let's ask Siri. Hey Siri, how many ounces is 0.5 liters?
0.5 liters is 16.91 fluid ounces.
16.91 fluid ounces, and it recommends adding up to 16.9 ounces. How convenient is that? And how convenient is it that they included a funnel? Now, a typical camping excursion for me would be loading this generator onto the back of my truck, which is about this height, unloading it from the truck, and then moving it over to where the camper is situated. So, let's pretend we're camping, and this is the back of my truck. Now I'm going to take it off my truck and move it to the camper. 100 pounds. I could have my wife help me, but she's not here, so... Now what's nice here, there are two grab handles on top as well. So technically you should be able to grab this thing and pull it off here and carry it. Oh, there you go. There we go. I got it. I got it. I ain't got it. Now you might be saying, why aren't you rolling it? Well, because these stones, I don't think it'll roll too well. So let's just set it over here, out of the way. Right there. Okay. That wasn't really terrible. I mean, it's manageable. If you're a guy like me, it's manageable. But anyway, not too bad. So let's hook up some propane and fire this bugger up. Now, like I said before, I don't really intend to run gasoline in this, although I may at some point. I like that it has a fuel gauge. It's a little indicator, little float indicator on there. That's really nice. On the right side, there's a recoil start, so even if your battery dies, you can still start the generator. By the way, here is a great tip for you. Pick up a milk crate to store your propane in. It fits in there so perfectly, and it keeps it from falling over when it's in the back of your truck or in the back of your car. Brilliant. The generator comes with this 8-foot long propane hose. I don't know if it's extendable or not, but 8 feet is a nice length. I've got these two things close together just because I want them to fit within the camera angle. So, very simple to hook up. You hook this end to the propane tank and this end to the generator. It's like it's almost like an air chuck type fitting. There's the propane connection on this side. You just press it in place. To take it off, you just slide the collar back and it pulls right off. That's really a nice connection. And then this end connects to your propane tank with the threads just like any other propane accessory. Tighten that up all the way. Propane is on. And I think we're ready for contact. What's kind of interesting here is that I don't see any kind of switch to switch from gasoline to propane, so it must somehow know what you're running through it. I don't get it, but we'll just go with that. So this may take a while to start because it's the first time running any propane through it. So we'll just simply put it on the run mode. Actually, we'll move it over to choke, press the button, see what happens. May take a while to bleed that propane line. I smell propane. Let me put it back to run. Oh, there we go. I didn't need to choke it. So once you start the unit up, the screen lights up and it cycles through 4 different stats about the unit. 5 if you include this gauge on the side here, which is the power draw. But as far as the numbers, there are 4 different stats. Now, I'll go through as they go through quickly. 00 right there is the total runtime, total hours of the unit. There's a U, but it's actually a V, 122 volts, so running 122 volts. H, 60.0 is the hertz. It's running at 60 hertz. We've got 60 hertz, and then the A, 0.0 are the hours for this particular session. So however long you're running the generator, if you're running for 2 hours, 4 hours, that'll show up there. But the other one with no letter in front of it is the overall runtime of the generator itself. That will accumulate. So that's pretty handy. And then again, this sidebar over here, there's nothing lit up now because it has no load on it, but as you add load, there are 5 LED lights, and the greater the load, the more lights will light up. Now you have an economy mode or eco mode. Right now it's in a low idle mode, it has no draw on it. If I turn that off, it'll rev up. Not much louder, but a higher RPM. So the way this works is you can leave it in eco mode. That way, if you don't have any draw, it'll idle down, and then when it senses a draw, it'll idle back up again. Now it's not super clear in the manual, but this button on the top here seems to be a generator overload light, and that will blink, and apparently you have to shut it down and reset it if that happens. I don't know why you have that when you have circuit breakers, but at any rate, it seems as though that's what that is. It doesn't do anything when you push it, so it must be an overload indicator. So let's hook up the camper and see what happens. Now I've turned off the generator just so I can talk to you for a moment. You don't want to start your generator under load. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the generator, then I'm going to plug the camper in. Even though I've ensured that everything is off in the camper, just to be safe, I'm going to do it this way. I don't know if that's exactly the right way to do it, but that's how I'm going to do it. So the camper's plugged in. There's nothing turned on inside other than the AC-DC converter. So right now the battery is probably under charge, but there are no lights on, nothing else running. The microwave would be lit up at this point, but there's no real power draw. So it's running on eco mode, which is very nice and quiet. I'm going to go in and I'm going to turn the air conditioner on. You stay here and listen for this. I'm going to leave it in eco mode and see if it trips out, and I'll use my phone to record inside the camper. All right, inside here, turn some lights on, and here's the air conditioner. We'll put it on low fan first. Of course, inside now I can't even hear the generator, so I assume it's, well, obviously it's still running because the air conditioner's on. There's high, or low fan, I guess it was high fan first. There's high fan, now we'll go to low cool. Oh yeah, I just heard it kick in just a little bit. And the other thing we have is the microwave. Can we run the microwave and the air conditioner at the same time? That might be a lot. Let's see. It's running. And I do hear the generator, it really ramped up. Go back outside. What do you think? Seems like it's working pretty well. So the air conditioner is running. We're in eco mode. I've got 2 bars lit up, 2 out of 5, so that's not too bad. Let me turn off echo and see if it's running at full speed now. It's not, so it even has more juice to give, which is pretty neat. So even with the air conditioner on, I can run this thing in economy mode. Very neat. Let me leave this here a moment. I'll go turn on the microwave again. You can watch these bars and we'll see how much the bars jump up. Okay, I put a cup of water in there just so I can run the microwave without any concern. I've got the generator in eco mode and the air conditioner is running, and I'm going to hit the microwave and see where those bars run up to. All right, let's go take a look. All right, so we are at 4 out of 5 bars. They're not really blinking, it's just the shutter speed of the phone camera making it do that. So we're running 4 out of 5 bars, not bad, which means we could run even some more. And I guess the microwave must have just kicked off. All right, let's talk about noise and a few other statistics for this generator. I'm standing 10 feet away from it. Of course, it's behind me and the microphone's in front of me, so you probably can't really hear it that well. I'm speaking at the same level I would be speaking if the generator was not running. So it is quiet. It's rated at 61 dB according to the Champion website. It also says it will run for 14 hours on gasoline or up to 21 hours on a 20-pound propane tank. Obviously that's going to depend on the draw and what you're using, but that's pretty handy. Now, again, the reason I went with this was because of the propane operation. I was a little bit torn between the Harbor Freight 3500 watt generator, gasoline, and this one. But when it came down to my decision, this one was only about $100 more than the Harbor Freight generator. The Harbor Freight generator also weighs just about 100 pounds, and the noise rating on the Harbor Freight generator is, I believe, 59 dB. So 59 to 61 is not that much of a difference. I do believe that this one may be a little bit louder running on gasoline. The other thing is that it also puts out a little bit more power running on gasoline. I don't know why that is. I guess maybe the combustion engine has a little bit more power, therefore it can generate more power for the inverter. I don't know, but supposedly if you're running on gasoline, you'll get a little more power. But look, I'm running on propane. I ran the air conditioner, I ran the microwave. The only other thing that we would run while camping that would be a heavy load would be a coffee maker. And with that, I would most likely just turn off the air conditioner when we run that for a few minutes. So I am thrilled with this thing, and I'm really looking forward to going camping and using it. So that's going to wrap it up for today. I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, welcome aboard. Hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you. And we've been live streaming now for 30 weeks straight, I believe, every Monday night at 7 p.m. So check out the channel Monday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And if we're doing a live session, jump in, join the chat, and we'd love to see you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.